Sort of the story. I'm Janey.
And I'm Janey.
And I'm Janey.
We're all Janey here.
And that's Janey.
Except for me. I'm Max.
Wow. You're gonna fucking just drop the bit like that? Who trained you?
I learned it from you, Dad.
You did.
I learned it from you.
Well, I'm Janey, and that's Max, and we're here to tell each other some fun little tales we read this week.
And also, you're here, and you get to hear us tell them to each other also.
Guys, it's really weird sometimes to think that you're here. This week has been, in particular, a very much like, oh, there are other people here sort of week. We had fan art made.
Yes, someone made beautiful, precious, adorable fan art of Janey and I recording the podcast, and I fully wept.
We should have had, it was at PAP, P-A-P-P, underscore letter O, and then the number 6. PAP 06.
Mm-hmm. It's the absolute cutest thing. We reposted it on our Instagram as well, so if you want to check it out there, it's so unbelievably cute.
We look so cute. I'm looking at it now, like, that we have such personality. It's the cutest thing. The lighting is gorgeous, genuinely very glowy. Like, Papo 6, you did an amazing job. And we have our little snake friend.
Yeah, so that was amazing, and then we heard from a couple of our listeners who were like, hey, we love you guys, which is always, again, super surreal and absolutely delightful.
And so nice. We got a lovely email from IRC Mama on Instagram that just made us really happy. Basically, just, you guys are fucking sweet. God, you're sweet. If you want to see that picture, though, please go look at our fan art. We have fan art. Officially, we have a fan. It wasn't official until just now.
Yeah, very, very wild.
People have asked if the snake's in our thumbnail. I don't know why I put a snake up there. I just thought it would be funny if we were holding a boa constrictor, like we were on the beach in Florida, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's wearing a hat. Oh, have you never been to a beach in Florida where they hand you a boa constrictor? That's a real thing.
I want to believe you, but I don't.
I have pictures of me as a little girl holding a giant yellow boa constrictor. That's why it's there, is because it makes me think of random beaches in Fort Lauderdale. There will be just people with a giant boa constrictor, and it'll be like, hey, do you want to hold this and take a picture? And you're like, yeah, I definitely want to hold that big snake.
I've held a 15, 18 pound butter snake.
Butter snake.
Yeah, they're the ones that are like a pale yellow and like white, and they're really fat. They're so cute. I held one at summer camp, and I was terrified of snakes at the time. No longer, but I was. And they were like, everyone who wants to can hold the snake and, take a picture. And I had my friend take my picture, and she had her entire finger in front of the lens. So I was like shaking and like sweating and on the brink of tears holding the snake. And then it was before digital cameras.
No.
So I got home and I was like, Mom, Dad, look, I held a snake. I'm so brave. And it was just fully a picture of her fingerprint.
Oh. I would use that to frame her for murder. That's it. You want to fucking ruin my picture? Bam, now you killed John Bonet. How's it fucking feel? People are asking if the snake is Emily Spinach, and that made me laugh, because I was like, it's not, but also hilarious.
It could be.
It's Emily Spinach, our co-host.
Yeah, I think also the reference image that you used, you were holding Summer.
I was.
Your dog. And I like the idea that you were like, I don't want to have my one singular dog in this picture.
We have so many animals. It's a menagerie in our house.
Yeah.
You can't just pick one.
Like, if not a dog, then what?
What's the opposite of a dog? A big snake.
And you were right.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's definitely the opposite of Summer. Cool. So guys, the news here is that you are all the cutest things in the whole wide world. And we like you a lot.
Mm-hmm. And if you aren't with us on socials and things like that, please join us, because we absolutely love every single gosh dang one of you.
Yeah. So on our social medias, which includes our Instagram, our TikTok, our Goodreads, it's all at Sort of the Story. Our email, sortofthestory@gmail.com. Our TeePublic, if you want to shop merch, teepublic.com/user/sortofthestory. And we have a Discord for Sort of the Story. All of this, basically, you get updates on what we're doing. You get the books and the pictures of the books and the pictures that we talk about on the podcast. And you get some little sound clips that are very fun. So go do that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Go do that.
Stop what you're doing.
Stop right now.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah, it's
you
demanded.
assholes.
What the fuck? Okay, so this podcast isn't for children.
There are swears, there's violence.
Yeah.
Other things.
And there's other things. Every once in a while, a dirty joke. It recently became all too real that Max's family indeed does listen to this podcast very supportively, which means I have to reevaluate how I talk on the podcast now. It's very embarrassing to think that your parents have heard me say taint more than once.
My lovely grandmother.
Your grandmother.
Yes, my grandmother, Veronica, up in Boston. My dad told her about the podcast and told her to listen to it. So, Grandma Ronnie, if you're here, hi.
I want your dad to be less supportive. I can't.
I also...
I have so many family members. Not a single one of them listens to this podcast. The only family member that will ever listen to this podcast is my little brother. And he's the coolest. Everyone else is like, honestly, we could do with less of Janey.
I don't care for Janey.
I am exhausted. Do you want to just get started?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going first today.
I am going first today. Are you ready for me to tell you this story?
I might not be.
You better get your shit together.
I just looked. Shut up.
Put up or shut up.
I just looked at the title a little, and I don't know. The last word might have... I don't know. It's exciting. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
I don't know.
All right. So, I have for you a tale today from a book that we've referenced before in the past, The Magic Orange Tree and Other Haitian Folktales.
Oh!
Collected and with a new preface by Diane Wolkstein. We talked about her in a previous episode. A very amazing and cool person. This is a really great collection of folktales, especially if you're looking for kind of a model of ethical folklorism.
God, she's so cool. I'm trying to find the episode so that I can name drop it because it was a really fun one. So you keep talking. I'm not ignoring you or texting.
Was it The Thief or?
It's The Thief for sure. I'm trying to find A Heist Gone Wrong. It's episode 21, Sweaty Butts in a Meat Forest and A Heist Gone Wrong.
So this is from that same collection. It's a really great example of ethical folklorism. Every story is preceded by not only the credit of the person who in Haiti who she originally heard the story from, but also a description of the surroundings and the circumstances in which the story was told. And she has left annotations for like cultural notes and things like that. And she also, I didn't even notice until this reading as I was going through, but the end of the book, because Haitian storytelling is so dynamic and like physical, it's vocal, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a performance. She's also included at the end sheet music for some of the songs that are referenced in the stories.
That's fun.
Which is just awesome. It's just really cool. So if you're interested in a really cool book of ethical folklore, The Magic Orange Tree and Other Haitian Folktales by Diane Wolkstein is very cool.
We've had a couple people on the TikTok mention, like, I'll put something in and they're like, yeah, but like, where's the sources? And I'm realizing more and more people are starting to notice, like, oh, if I'm reading a collection of stories, I'm realizing now that the person who collected them didn't write those stories. And people are now starting to like, which is kind of nice. The people who listen to this podcast, at least I feel like are doing what we're doing now, which is like, all right, white lady from Detroit, where'd you get this story? You didn't make this up. It's like, I like that. I hope more and more people start asking those questions because it's important. When you're writing a book, I hope that you're doing it ethically, you know?
Yeah, and Diane Wolkstein talks in the preface to this book about like, you know, how to like help people to trust you and how to do a responsible job of telling their stories and stuff like that. She does an absolutely excellent job. And one of, I think the best microcosm of how well she does is that the front cover of the book doesn't say written by Diane Wolkstein. It says collected and with a new preface by Diane Wolkstein. It's collected by her. It's not written by her or even, I mean, it's told by her. It's not, she's not literally transliterating what people say. So she's kind of retelling the story, but with a lot of like the same intonation and stuff like that, and she acknowledges that, and I think that that's really cool.
And putting the collected by is the bare minimum that you do see people doing a lot of times, but then they just end it there, and you're like, okay, where did you collect it from? I would like to know. Yeah, especially if you're going around like this. I feel like this isn't the case with a lot of people where you can just Google the free, you know, public domain stories, but with people who go around to the actual countries and collect stories like from word of mouth, which we have a couple books like that. It's important. Just you should be crediting the people who who told you the stories and gave you express permission to publish them.
Yes. And also, just in terms of speaking about Haitian storytelling and like the really rich, beautiful culture of the performative act of storytelling in Haiti, this story is available read online on YouTube, and I included the links in the sources for this episode. There is a YouTube reading by a Caribbean professional storyteller who reads this story, and it's absolutely amazing. He has percussion and everything as he's doing it, and he sings, and
I love it.
It's so cool. So check that out as well, because it really is like very cool in an immersive way, and it's definitely a lot more accurate to the source material than it is going to be when I am reading it in our office in my pajamas.
I know, it feels very
sitting on a bar stool. The preface to this specific story, the person that Diane Wilkstein collected it from is a farmer named Edouard from Carrefour Dufour in Haiti.
You said Edouard?
Edouard from Carrefour Dufour. He, just the sentence from the opening here is, he spoke in a rather garbled way and laughed so hard through most of the story that it was often necessary to ask him to repeat certain sentences. And I wanted to mention that because we had one of our listeners reached out to us like a month or two ago and was like, my dad listened to your podcast and he called you those cackling girls. And so that just made me think about us and what we do.
Oh, that guy's just us.
Yeah, exactly.
Us.
Anyways, so now to the story. There once was a king of Haiti. And more than anything in the entire world, he loved dancing and he loved watching people dance. It was all he wanted to do all day long. And he would hire all of these professional dancers to come to the palace and dance and have all of these huge, like, balls and performances and everything. But, you know, these dancers had to be paid. And so, to a certain degree, his treasury couldn't handle his passion for dance. They were like, we have to have fewer dancers come in.
Listen, I destroyed the economy, but it feels worth it. Everybody was crumping and having the best time.
So if he had his way, he would have dancers in every single day, but, you know, it couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
One night, after he'd had some dancers in, they had a huge feast, supper. Everyone had left, all of his servants and all of the dancers and everything had left already. He went out into his garden, and he just sort of sat out in his garden in the quiet and in the night air, and he was thinking to himself how much fun it was to watch people dancing and how much he loved dance.
I feel so sad for him. Why do I feel so sad?
And as he's just thinking about how happy he is and everything like that, he starts to make up a song for himself. And he starts to sing the song, Kokioko o samba. Now I dance like this. Samba o, samba ah, now I dance like this. Samba dance, samba dance, samba dance, samba dance.
This is also how I make up songs when I'm happy. Like, the dog will do something and I'm like, oh, he's a good boy. He's such a good boy. I saw that dog. Where'd you come from? So fluffy, what a good boy. He's a dog. He's a dog. He's my dog. He's that dog.
What a dog, what a dog.
What a mighty fine dog. Yeah, that's how I also make up songs.
Yeah. Most of my songs are either about things that I'm doing or the animals in our house. So
it's definitely about the animals.
I get it. Also, to note, this is samba. The meaning of samba is like a master musician or a storyteller. So he's addressing samba, like, samba, I'm dancing. Look.
Oh, that's such a coincidence.
I didn't look up whether it's connected to samba, the dance,
yeah.
But so he's, you know, singing this song to himself and he's like, ooh, that's good. That's jazzy. And he sings it to himself a couple more times and he's like, this is a really good song. And he's like singing the song and he's really happy and he starts to dance and he starts to make up this dance to go along with the song. And he's singing Kokioko o samba. Now I dance like this. And he keeps singing and dancing and he's making up these dance moves and he's like, man, I am a good dancer. I am so, like, nobody else in the entire world can make up a dance that's this good. Like, this is a great song. This is a great dance to go with it. This is, like, I honestly, like, I'm a little bit of a prodigy. Like, I
live to dance.
He's like, this is the best dance anyone's ever come up with. No one can come up with this but me. But, you know, there are lots of people in the world who, you know, think very highly of themselves and think that they could come up with a dance like this.
Yeah.
And why don't, you know, here's a thought. And then a plan begins to form in his mind.
Okay.
So he's singing and dancing in the garden. The next morning, he announces to all of his people, that anyone who can dance the Kokioko, this dance that he's made up, accurately.
So anyone who can dance the dance that I made up.
Yeah, not knowing the steps. Like anyone who can hear the music and figure out the steps.
Okay.
I will give you 5,000 gourds, which is like a coin.
You know his advisors are like, dude, we just told you the economy is crashing from your dance hobby. We just said it.
You cannot pay for healthcare with the power of swing.
Disagree.
So he offers 5,000 gourds, which is like 5,000 coins, monies, to anyone who can figure out the dance for the Kokioko. The next day, all of these dancers come from all over Haiti. They're all dressed their absolute best, and they all have like all of their new clothes on and everything. And they all come and they try to perform the Kokioko. And so he has, people playing the song and singing and everything like that. And then he has all these dancers come in one by one and try to figure out the steps of the Kokioko. And none of them can do it. They're all just doing great dances, but it's not the Kokioko. And meanwhile, the king is getting to see all the best dancers in Haiti for free.
Oh, man.
So he has all these people come in, and for weeks and weeks and months, all the best dancers in Haiti come to his palace, and they all dance, trying to figure out the Kokioko.
Somebody just lit off a huge firework. Why? It's August. Oh, no, the dogs. That was a big old firework. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and it shocked me.
I heard it, and I thought someone was knocking on the window.
No, it was a firework. Whew. I hope this is one of those rare moments where it's just the one.
If it's only one firework, it was a mistake.
Oh, that's a call for help.
Yeah.
You set off one sparkler for help. 2 sparklers for just kidding. Okay, sorry.
So all of these amazing dancers, week after week, month after month, they all come to the palace and they dance for the king in hopes of figuring out the dance steps for the Kokioko and winning the 5,000 gourds. And some people come close. One dancer comes in and he gets the first 2 parts right, and the king is like, oh no. But then he messes up the ending, right? He does something different, and the king is like, sorry, idiot. That's not the Kokioko. And it kind of sounds like a really unsatisfying game show to me.
What am I thinking of?
Yeah. Guess what number I'm thinking of.
No. Have you like
77.23
in 30 Rock? There's a random game show that makes me laugh because Jack Donaghy, Alec Baldwin's character, is trying to tank the network. He's like, we just need to get rid of the whole network. So he's just pitching terrible shows that he thinks will fail, but everything he pitches is suddenly really big. And there's this game show called Homonyms. And this man is the host, and he just goes, your word is, and then he just has like the word
there.
No, he was like, your word is RESUME. And they're like, okay, I think the word is resume. And he's like, no, it's the other one. Or he's just like, no matter what, it's just, or like, yeah, maybe there. Anyway, it just makes me laugh. He's like, your word is bear. And they're like, oh, okay, it's BEAR. And he's like, no, it's the other one. No matter what, it's always, no, it's the other one. And then in the next season, they bring it back, and he's like, homonyms took off so much, and homonyms, like international homonyms, is really going crazy. And it's just somebody asking in Japanese, like, giving a name, and then the person guessing, and then the host will come out and go, no, it's the other one in English. And he always looks so pleased, and you just see, like, as the season goes on, people are getting so pissed. Anyway, sorry. Homonyms.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like
that. Arbitrary.
Also, nobody else knows the dance for the Kokioko, so even if someone got it right, he could be like, no, that's not it.
You have to give me 5,000.
Gourds.
To
To that point, he's the only one who knows the Kokioko, right? And this is going on for weeks and months. So every night after all of the dance contestants and also all of his servants leave his palace, he goes out into the garden again and he does the Kokioko and sings the song just to himself so that he remembers the steps.
But this is what happened to Rumpelstiltskin. Like, I was like, yeah, you just go out there and you sing your little song, like, just so anyone can hear. I bet you anything this is what happened.
This is a Rumpelstiltskin story, and you're
totally
100% correct.
Right?
Yeah, that was a bullseye guess on your part, my friend. So he goes out every night, and he sings and he dances the Kokioko after everyone's left. Mm-hmm. One night, his gardener forgets his hat in the palace, and so he goes back for his hat. And as he's going into the palace, he hears the king singing out in the garden, and he peeks in through the gate, and he watches the king do the Kokioko, and he memorizes the steps of the dance, right? And he's like, I know what I'll do with this. The gardener's name is Malice.
Oh.
Malice. Malice.
Cool.
Yeah, I fully had to stop reading for a second. I was like, holy shit.
That gardener's metal as fuck.
That gardener's metal as fuck. So it says, but wait. There's more.
Oh, okay.
So he watches the steps of the dance, he memorizes them, and he's like, great, now I know the Kokioko, and, you know, a plan is beginning in my mind. And then he goes home to his wife, whose name is Madame Malice.
Oh, how is that cooler?
I know! I was like, nothing's gonna be cooler in this story than a guy named Malice. And then his wife just kicks open the door and is like, that's Madame Malice.
You know that she's scarier.
Oh, I'm terrified of her.
Yeah.
I might be in love with her. I don't know.
You know what? The line between fear and arousal is real thin. You're riding that razor's edge of fear and arousal.
Yeah, it's moving on.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Grandma.
I mean, should we just
So Malice goes home to his wife, Madame Malice. Mm-hmm. The next morning, he wakes up early. Before he goes to work, he stops by and visits his friend. His friend's name is Bouki. And he stops at Bouki's house and he says, my dear friend, Bouki, I am going to do something so nice for you, you will not believe it. And Bouki's been friends with Malice for a long time, and he knows that when Malice starts to help, this is a quote, when Malice starts to help you, you were much better off before he came along.
Oh, no.
So basically, anytime Malice is like, I'm going to do something so nice for you, he's screwing you over every single time.
Oh, no.
So Malice is like, I'm going to do something so nice for you. And Buki's like, the fuck you will. And Malice is like, no, it's different this time. Just listen. I'm going to be, this is such a great, I have a business opportunity that you will not be able to turn down. It's, especially in this stressful, world that we live in today, it's really hard to just have time to sit down and relax. And you know what I found is really helpful is peppermint oil. You just rub some on your temples. And I actually have this company that's like, they do really
going with
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
What?
This doesn't happen in the story. I'm so sorry. Malice is not a part of an MLM.
I felt like my brain was like a rusty clock. It was trying so hard to turn, and I was like, this isn't adding up. Why would
Malice is selling essential oils on Facebook.
Why wouldn't Malice mention the dance? Like, I'm so slow.
It was 100% a joke. So he's like, I have a business opportunity for you that you will not be able to turn down.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna have to, sorry, you can't just keep going. My brain has now ended the story on essential oils.
And the moral of the story is you can be your own boss and work from home.
No.
Girl bossing.
No. Okay, go ahead. It's just, okay, go ahead.
So he tells Buki, he's like, I know the steps to the Kokioko dance. And you and we can win those 5,000 gourds, right?
Oh, it's a 2-man dance. That's cute.
And Buki's like, okay, well, if you know the steps, then why wouldn't you just compete yourself? And Malice is like, well, I'm the gardener for the king. If I win, he'll know that I cheated. He'll suspect me. So it has to be someone else. So here's what I want to do. I want to teach you the steps of the Kokioko, and then I want you to compete, right? and then you'll get the 5,000 gourds. And isn't that nice of me?
It's a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
He wants him to keep all 5,000?
Yeah. That's how you know something is wrong. So Bouki thinks about it, and he thinks about, this line absolutely annihilated me. 5,000 gourds is a lot of money, especially for Bouki, who had many little Boukis to feed, and for Malice, who had many little Malices. I love the idea of calling your children little Malices.
Little Boukis.
So Bouki is thinking about this, and he's like, all right, like, the money is good, and worst case scenario, you know, like, I know a new dance, you know? So,
that is the worst case scenario. I hate that.
So Malice, he's like, okay, so here's what you do. And he, like, starts doing the Kokioko. And Bouki is like, oh, great, got it. And then he starts trying to do the Kokioko, and he is bad. Bouki is a very big, awkward, clumsy person, and so he's trying to do this dance, and he is just tripping over himself. And Malice is like, okay, obviously we need some more practice. So you and I will get together every night, and we will practice this dance until we get it right, and then we're going to win those 5,000 gourds. And so every night for 2 months, Malice and Bouki, they finish their day at work, and then they get together and they practice the Kokioko together until finally Bouki is good enough that he can, you know, get it done.
Sure.
And so, you know, they have the whole, like, Rocky montage of everything of them, like, dancing, and then at the end Malice is like, you're ready. And so the next day they go, and Bouki goes to the palace, and he goes in alone to the king, and all the other dancers who are waiting outside kind of see him and are like, okay, because he's like this big, awkward-looking guy, and they're like, all right, well, this will be over quickly. And then he goes in, and then he comes out with a sack full of 5,000 gourds.
Oh, yeah, go
because
Bouki.
He won. So he wins the money, he runs out to where Malice is waiting, and they celebrate, and he's like, I won, I did it, and he's like, you did it, hooray! And all the other dancers are, like, grumbling, and they all go home. Bouki and Malice start to walk through the jungle back home, and it's a hot day, and so Malice stops under a big breadfruit tree and stops for a second, and he's like, well, hold on just a sec, like, can we take a break? And so he stops, and he's like, you know, Bouki, you have mastered the Kokioko now, and that's really impressive, you know, but it is kind of, you know, you went from, like, 0 to 100, right? The Kokioko is complicated. You got to learn some of the basics. I want to teach you the easiest dance there is right now. Does that sound good? And Buki's like, yeah, I mean, I'm
a dancing queen.
I'm the lord of the dance.
Young and sweet. Buki's only 17.
Oh my god. Bouki,
Prodigy.
you shouldn't have so many little Boukis.
don't fucking slut shame Bouki.
I'm not, I'm just worried. All those little Boukis waiting at home
for their 17-year-old father
to stop learning how to dance in the jungle with his friend.
Never. That is his God-given right.
Is this the plot to Flashdance?
Yes.
So Malice is like, great. So here's what you're going to do. And he sings this song, and he starts to dance with his eyes closed, and he's, like, moving his hips, and he's moving his chest, and he's just doing this dance. And the song that he sings is, if you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance. And,
I mean, I love a song with direction.
Yeah. So he's like, if you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance. And he's doing his little dance while he's doing this, right? And Bouki watches him for a minute, and he's like, yeah, I can do that. And they do, like, the whole, like, dance, I assume. So Bouki steps in, and he's like, that's easy. And so he sets down his sack full of coins, and he closes his eyes, and he gets into dance mode, and then he does the same little dance. And he says, if you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance. And he does the same dance. And Malice is like, that's pretty good, but can you do it faster? And then Malice, like, speeds up the tempo of the song, and he's like, if you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance. And he does it faster. And then Buki's like, yeah, I can do that.
It's kind of a hit.
If you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance. And he does it, and he's like, all right, but can you do it again? And so Buki's like, all right. And he's like doing it again and again. And he has his eyes closed, and he's just spinning around in the forest and everything.
Oh, Bouki.
Meanwhile,
Madam
Malice. Madame Malice sneaks out from behind the breadfruit
Terrifying.
tree.
Her eyes are bleeding. She's 10 feet tall.
And she's wearing a motorcycle jacket and smoking a cigarette.
And I love her.
She's spinning a knife for no reason.
She just cut that apple with a knife.
Oh my god, and then she ate it?
Off the knife.
There's like apple juice running down her face while she's spinning this knife.
Oh, rain on me, Madame Malice.
So, if you guys need like a couple seconds
We
to
got a
process
little-
this, feel free to pause.
All right, go ahead.
Madame Malice steps out from behind the breadfruit tree and she sees Bouki dancing with his eyes closed, and she makes eye contact with Malice and she like nods. And then she grabs the sack and she sneaks back off through the forest and away. And so Malice is like, "Hey, Bouki, that was pretty good. I think you've got it down." And Bouki stops dancing and he's like, "Yeah, I think I have it down. Like, that was really fun." And then he looks around to pick up his sack, and his sack is gone. And he says, "My sack! Malice, my sack!"
Bouki, stop.
My sack, dude!
No. Bouki, shush.
Dude, where's my sack?
No. Bouki, no.
So, in my brain, dude, where's my sack? Ashton Kutcher, punked a reality TV show called Sacked.
So here was what I was thinking.
Uh-huh.
Lance Armstrong, hear me out. Saying dude was that's the whole thought. Hold on. I know this is complete departure. Lance Armstrong, did he just cheat? Is that why everybody hates him?
I don't know. I have no knowledge.
I feel like everybody hates Lance Armstrong the way that they hate, like, rapists. And I don't think he's a rapist. I think he just, like, took steroids or something. Like, I don't think he deserves the amount of hate that he's getting.
I have truly no idea.
Also, I like steroids. I'm pro.
Shout out to steroids.
I'm what they call a pro-roid.
Yeah, I'm not anti-roid.
No.
But...
Okay, go ahead and press play. And by press play, I mean continue.
He goes, "Malice, my sack!"
Dude, where's my sack?
Dude, where's my
He
sack?
rides away on his bicycle. As fit as ever.
And Malice says, "Oh no, did you put your sack on the ground?" And Bookie's like, "Yes."
Aww.
"Why?" And Malice says, "Oh, Bouki, I tried to warn you. The words to the song, if you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance."
No.
And that's the end of the story.
That's the whole story?
That's
and
the
Bouki
story.
just accepts that?
It's like, guess I shouldn't have put my sack on the ground.
Oh, really, this is my fault.
The moral of the story is keep both hands on your sack. At all times.
That's the title of the episode. Keep both hands on your sack.
So, that's the story. This felt to me, it felt like Bouki and Malice felt like bigger characters. And so I looked it up, and they are recurring characters in Haitian folklore.
Can I tell you real quick? They remind me of Iktomi and the Coyote.
It's good that they do.
That's what they are.
So, Bouki and Malice are recurring characters in Haitian mythology. More formally, T. Malice and Tonton Bouki, which is Uncle Bouki.
Yeah.
They are a split of the two versions of Anansi from Ghanaian folklore.
Which is Iktomi.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the like trickster, spider, monkey spirit. Like same sphere, which I thought was really cool. T. Malice is just the trickster aspect, who is like very clever and always gets what he wants. And then Tonton Bouki is greedy and lazy, and so and also he can dance the pants off anyone in town.
Here, follow instructions.
But like archetypically, he's supposed to be the like, don't be this guy. He's gullible. There are a couple of other stories with T. Malice and Tonton Bouki. There is the story, which I think we told on the podcast, of the wee eye.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah? Did I tell that one? The wee eye, which is, we already did it. But the story is that Tonton Bouki is walking around town and he sees an old woman with no teeth eating her lunch, and he's really hungry, and he's like, "That looks amazing. What is that?" Mm-hmm. And he surprises her when he asks, because she was just eating her lunch by herself and minding her business, and he's like, "Hey, you!" And so she jumps and she says, "Wee-hi!" Or she says, "Ay-ay."
Aye, that makes more sense.
Yeah, he takes that as a response, and he's like, great, I'm going to go to the market and get some aye. And so he goes to the market, and he's like, where can I get some aye? And everyone's like, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Get out of here!
And so the end of this version of the story is that he goes to Timalis, and he's like, I'm so hungry. I can't even eat anything else. All I can think about is the aye that I saw this old woman eating, and like I'm starving and I just want that. And he tells the story to Timalis, who immediately understands what happened.
Yeah.
And he decides to teach Bouki a lesson about not being an idiot. And so he's like, hey, what a coincidence. I actually have aye in my pantry. And I will go grab it for you. And so he goes and gets a bag, and he puts in an apple and an orange and something else, and then a piece of a cactus.
Oh no.
And so Bouki opens the bag, he takes out the orange, and he's like, this isn't an aye, this is an orange. And he's like, oh, my mistake. And then he takes out the apple, and he's like, this isn't an aye either. This is an apple. And Malice is like, oh, I'm so sorry, I must have been mistaken. And then he reaches his hand back and he grabs the cactus and he goes, aye. And he's like, there's your aye. There's also another a story which is a joke, which is that Timalis one day he goes to Tonton Bouki's house, and he sees that Tonton Bouki is playing dominoes with his pet dog.
Yeah.
And Timalis is like, oh my god, Bouki, your dog must be so smart. And Bouki says, I don't know if he's that smart. I mean, I've won 3 out of the past 5 games. I think it's a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
Also,
that reads like one of the newspaper like comic strip cartoons, right?
It really does.
That's
so
cute.
So those are just some more Malice and Bouki stories, like a classic like trickster and like fool story. Yeah, the tricker and the tricked. So there are a couple of those online. I've linked to a couple more of them in the show notes. As I was researching for these, I also came across a set of proverbs from Haiti, just like a list. And there was one of them that is completely unrelated, but I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not going to try to say it in French.
Good, because I wouldn't understand it.
But it translates to, the Constitution is paper, bayonets are steel.
Oh, that took my breath away.
Yeah,
Guys,
am a wreck.
That's the new catchphrase for everyone now.
Yeah, the Constitution is paper and bayonets are steel.
Why isn't that on all of the fucking like protest signs? I
love it. I absolutely love it. So anyways, a lot of sources on this story in the show notes. So if you want to hear that read aloud by the Caribbean storyteller, that's in the notes as well. But yeah, this is a really great book if you're looking for Haitian stories. It's really well done. I definitely recommend it.
Excellent.
Anyways,
good job.
That was my story.
Delightful, as always.
Thanks, man.
The Haitian stories are fun. They're fun and they're funny, and they have such personality on their own. Like I really enjoy every Haitian story that you tell us.
Yeah, I haven't found one that I don't like. Every single one either ends with like the most badass thing I've ever heard or the funniest thing I've ever heard. Or on like a punchline. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I love it.
They're great. Good job. Let's
all right,
take a wee break.
To wee?
Yep.
Gross.
Dude, where's my sack?
Dude, where's my sack? Janey, both hands on your sack at all times.
Hands on your sack, fellas. Yeah, we'll see you later.
Okay.
Good thing I already hit record.
Good thing. I mean, who would want to miss out on these amazing paper wiggling sounds?
I'm not even holding paper. I did that with my mouth.
Wow.
Okay, Max.
Okay, Janey.
Max, okay.
Not okay.
Oh, it's not okay. Today I am doing a Chinese story. I got a Chinese story for you. It's called Chi Slays the Serpent. Which is a cruel title for somebody with a lisp. But I will survive. So this is a very old and very famous Chinese tale. It was first published in the 4th century story compilation called the Su Shen Ji. It's a collection of legends, short stories, and hearsay which I love, concerning Chinese gods, Chinese ghosts, and other supernatural phenomena. It sounds brilliant.
Yeah, I want
to read the whole
check
thing.
that out.
Yeah, the Su Shenji. And it's attributed to the Chinese official Gan Bao. So, Chi Slays the Serpent. I first read this story in the book Not One Damsel in Distress, World Folktales for Strong Girls by Jane Yolen, illustrated by Susan Guevara. It's such a cute little book. It's like a bedtime story books for all children, but it's specifically about strong girls, and it's rewritten by Jane Yolen in a way that's like bedtime story-ish, but they're also from all over the world. So you have one from Greece, it's the story of Atalanta, and you have one from China, you have one from Argentina, like they're literally from everywhere. The Fitcher's Bird is in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, very fun. And then, of course, because Jane Yolen is obviously not Chinese official Ganbao from the 4th century,
Sure.
I also looked up a translation of the actual text, and I added that in there. I don't know how accurate it is, but it seems like it is. So, let's do this.
I'm excited to do this.
In Fujian, China, in the ancient state of Yue, there is a huge mountain range called the Young Mountains. And some of the peaks are many miles high, right? Which, side note already, I convinced myself from a weird fact that now I'm not convinced I actually heard this fact, but I convinced myself that the moon was only 1 mile away.
I always fucking forget. It came up in conversation where you were like,
I was in trivia.
yeah, it was like, how far away is the moon? And Jeannie was like, no, a mile.
No. I shouldn't do this. We should just go forward. But I was on a first date with somebody that Max and I have both known for many, many years, and I had a huge crush on for many of those years. And then we went on a first date years later. It was like a big thing. We went to trivia because we thought that would be fun, and it was not for me because it turns out this guy's a know-it-all and I am an idiot. And the question was, and he's specifically a know-it-all with geography, and the question was, how far away is Perth from Surrey? It was like something like very specific in Australia. Like, how far away is this? And whoever got
Sydney, maybe?
Maybe Sydney. How far away is Perth from Sydney, Australia? And whoever got the closest would win like the grand prize. And so I'm imagining a map of Australia, and I'm like, it's about the size of the US, right? Like, it's comparable to like the US and China are about the same size. Australia, I think, is about the same size as those. Okay, so I can figure this out. And I'm imagining on a map, like, how far away is Sydney from Perth? Well, I have no idea. And as I'm working this out loud, this guy is, like, just staring at me, waiting for me to finish. Like, he's being polite. Like, all right, let's let you work this out. And I'm like, how far away is Sydney from Australia? Or, no, Sydney. How far away is Sydney from Perth? Well, I've never seen them on a map before, but I do know it's only a mile from here to the moon. So I'm going to go ahead and say, and as I say that out loud, he goes, wait, no. You go on back. What?
Oh,
and I was like,
God.
yeah, the moon is a lot closer than you think it is. And he's like, that's not true. Anyway, I think about this every goddamn day.
Oh my God.
And I don't know why I thought that. In my head, I'm like, somebody said that to me. Or they said something similar and I only got half of it. It's actually 2 miles away.
Amazing. I had this little book of facts when I was a kid, and one of it was facts. Like, it was like, an insect can't fall to its death because the pressure of the air on its surface as it's falling will slow it to a low enough speed that the impact won't kill it. So if like a bug falls out of the air, it won't die on impact. Like facts like that. And
like an ant.
Yeah, like an ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. Like that kind of stuff.
Sure.
One of the facts was, if you hold a pea at arm's length, you can cover up the moon. And I think about that all the time. That's not even a fact. That's not a fact.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel. Catch all of us outside on a full moon. Peas in the air, hands on our sack.
Who thought that was... It's not even true. by the way. I did this when I was a kid, and it's not true.
We're gonna have to retest it. Maybe you're using the wrong size pee.
Maybe. That's like being like, here's a fun fact. Some bears are hungry today.
If you see a bear in the wood, it will have fur. I guess that's true.
Prove me wrong.
Like, is he fucking lived it up?
I love the idea of just making a book of facts for kids that, like,
guys,
aren't mostly true, but definitely aren't facts.
Please, what we're saying is don't get your science facts from this storytelling podcast. All right, I'm moving forward.
Okay.
Now that you guys know my shame. Okay.
Everybody, send us pictures of you holding a pee up to the moon.
Startedthestory@gmail.com. Okay. To the northwest of these tall, tall mountains. Some say as tall as the moon.
So, like, 6 feet tall?
Yeah, like, very tall. Taller than me, even.
Oh my god.
There is a cleft of mountains in the northwest, and at one time, many, many years ago, it was inhabited by a giant and terrible serpent. Okay? Mm-hmm. This serpent was 70 to 80 feet long, and it was wider than the span of 10 hands. Stop!
Who got those 5 people to stand next to the serpent?
And we'll talk about
measure.
That. We'll talk about that later. That being said, I was looking at my hands as I was writing this up, and I was like, that's not that big. And then I went, 1, 2, 3, and I was like, oh, that's pretty big, actually.
It's not small.
It's a pretty big serpent.
It's, okay, so it would be big for a snake, but small for example, the moon.
We don't know.
Here's a fun fact for you. Scientists have never seen the moon.
What you think is the moon is actually just God's eye.
It's actually just a frisbee that someone threw straight into the air and then it got stuck.
And that man was Apollo.
That man was George Washington. God bless America.
Oh, God bless America. The Constitution is paper, but bayonets are steel.
And frisbees are
the moon.
Nowhere to be found.
And frisbees are the moon. Maybe this story won't happen.
I think we know all we need to know.
The end.
Once upon a time, there was a big snake, and at least 5 people touched it.
And frisbees are the moon. Okay. At first, this giant, terrible serpent stayed in the mountains, and it ate rabbits and birds, right? It started out small, so it was just eating little animals up there. But as it grew bigger, it became hungrier and hungrier, and on moonlit nights, it would slither down into the local village, and it would eat up sheep, and then oxen, and then finally, it attempted to snatch up a human girl. Now,
that's smaller.
She ended up getting away. So it just saw her running, and it was like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and try to eat that. You think a human girl is smaller than a whole sheep?
Than an oxen.
You're not wrong. Okay,
so... An ox, not an oxen. That's not
an oxen.
Math or language work.
Oxen is the moon.
Isn't that the woman from The Mummy?
Oh, fucking A plus to the end.
It is too late in the day for us to be recording this. It's
9:30.
Silly boy hour.
It's silly. This is when boys are silly. Okay. So,
it's the sillying time.
Sillying. The magistrate got word that this giant serpent is terrorizing a village. And so he's like, all right, we'll just go ahead and fucking kill that thing. So he sends 10 of his toughest soldiers to kill the beast. 10 marched up to the mountain. 1 came back. That beast ate all of the other 9.
Probably because they were measuring him.
Yeah.
He was like, stop touching me.
1 hand at a time. This is wild. He's so big. Oh, there goes Dave. Oh, yeah, that was on us.
That was on us. I wonder if he's actually 10 hands high or if it was just because there were
wide.
10 guys.
Not high, wide.
Oh, 10 hands wide? Or if they just thought he was 10 hands wide because they each put one hand on him and they were like, yeah, it looks close enough.
Yeah, that's about it.
Because they forgot about their other hands, I assume.
Yeah, well, that serpent ate all their other hands.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so the local people were in a constant state of terror as the serpent now had a taste for human flesh. It killed more and more people until one day it entered their dreams. Oh, it's a magic serpent. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
This is a Chinese story.
Cool,
It's a
good to
magic
know.
serpent. One day, this magic, giant, terrible serpent enters their dreams and it makes some demands. It wants a pizza set up to the gate. The serpent demanded this is a quote, and I already know you're going to be mad about it. Okay.
$1 million.
The serpent demanded one young, succulent girl.
I'm really sorry. This is going to be an episode with a lot of anecdotes. But one time I was at a bar and this man walked up to me and he was like, hey, like, you're gorgeous, you know? Like, you're, like, juicy. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he was like, you got the body of, like, a woman of the future, you know? Like, you look like you can handle yourself, you know? And, like, you're, like, juicy.
No.
And, like, thick.
Ew,
and I
no,
was like,
no,
okay,
no.
Sir, juicy and thick is how you describe a steak. Or a very large strawberry. I'm a human person, and I'm not for eating, and you have to leave. And he was like, no, I'm just saying, like, you're, like, hot.
The fact
And I
that
was
men
like,
keep
yes,
going?
and now you still have to leave.
There's not a single part of you that's allowed to stay here anymore.
I'm sorry. I don't
Also,
make the rules, I just enforce them, and you have to leave
I
me
hope
alone.
that he was like, okay, I'm gonna try this one time, and if it doesn't work, I'll never try it again. And he's like, juicy, and you were like, fucking get away from me. And he's like, got it. Okay, strike that one off the list. I hope that's not like his go-to thing to call women.
I also was very thin at the time. I was working in a restaurant, and so I was doing like 1,500 steps a day, and I was like, are you trying poorly to neg me?
1,500 steps a day is not
Fuck, 15,000. Fuck.
I was like moving almost 1,000 steps per 24 hours.
And I was almost 10 hands tall.
That's not very tall.
Not nearly as big as the moon.
Okay.
Anyways, so don't say that to people. Don't say
No
that
juicy.
to any human person.
How do you feel about succulent?
Not bad.
No. Okay. The serpent demanded one young succulent girl a year. He wanted her to be between 12 and 13 years old.
Oof.
And he wanted, this is very specific, he wanted her delivered to the mouth of his cave on the 8th day of the 8th month every year. And when they delivered the girl, he would emerge, swallow the victim whole, eat her up, and then if they did that, they would be safe for the rest of the year. So, not seeing another option, the people reluctantly began to search for their victims. Every year, on the 8th day of the 8th month, they would choose a daughter of a criminal or a servant.
Jesus Christ.
Which is rough. And they would drag her out of her home, kicking and screaming, parents begging. They would tie her up, they would drag her up to the monster's cave, and she would be devoured as a sacrifice. They did this 9 years in a row. 9 little girls were killed. So on the 10th year, the officials began yet again to look for a girl to sacrifice to the serpent, and they're like bummed out about it. They're not like super pleased they have to do this. They are depressed. But it's like sacrifice one for the many, right? And these are his demands. Mm-hmm. So there was this man in Changlo County named Li Tan who had raised 6 daughters and had no sons. As I'm sure you're aware, at that time, until very recently, today, having only daughters in China was a huge shame. The daughters moved in with their husbands' families and took care of their husband, their children, and their in-laws. That was like the duty of the daughters. So if you had no sons, no one would take care of you when you were old. And if you were very poor, then absolutely you had no chance, right? You didn't want to be a burden to your daughter and her family and stuff. So it was pretty rough. So this family is very poor and they have 6 daughters and no son. So one day the couple's youngest daughter, her name is Chi, came to her parents and told them she wants to volunteer. And her parents are like, absolutely the fuck not. What do you mean you want to volunteer? And she's like, listen, you have 6 daughters and no sons. You are, quote, basically childless.
Oof.
Yeah. She says,
I'm not even real.
I'm not even here right now.
I am just an illusion.
I am the moon. So she's like,
I'm 10 hands.
And then they clap and she's gone.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay, so she tells them, I can't take care of you when you're old. And then she says, all I do is, quote, waste your good food and clothes. Also, quote, what would be wrong in selling me to gain a bit of money for yourselves?
Jesus.
I know. This is rough. Gain some self-esteem, Chi. So her parents, though, love her too much, and they still object. They're like, absolutely not. Like, you're not a burden. We love you. You're going to be fine. So in the middle of the night, she sneaks out, Mulan style. She's like,
sure.
Peace out, Girl Scout. So
cuts up all of her hair. There's a really sick soundtrack behind it.
And she gets there, and they're like, sorry, we're looking for 12 to 13-year-old girls. And she's like, fuck.
I did not think this through.
No. Hold on. The dragon said that this would work.
The dragon?
Wait, now I'm just hunting other girls? Damn it! Okay, so she goes to the authorities, she volunteers, and she also says, when I go up there, I want you to give me a sharp sword and a snake hunting dog. And they're like, what are you going to use a sword for? You're not going to sword fight a giant serpent. Again, this is a rough story if you have a lisp. So they're like, you're not going to do that. And she's like, do you want to volunteer or not? Or did you want to keep looking, or do you want to give me my goddamn sword? Like, what's it to you what I'm going to do with it? And they're like, oh, that's fair. Yeah, okay.
Fair.
So, on the 8th day of the 8th month, they gave her her sharp sword and the best snake hunting dog they could find. In technical terms, he was a real, quote, good boy. That quote is from me.
That caught me off guard. That was really good.
She also stuffed a bag with rice balls, moistened with malt sugar, and then she walks up the side of the mountain until she gets to the serpent's cave.
That sounds really tasty.
It doesn't sound bad. So when she arrives at the cave, she piles the rice balls in the entrance, and then she starts, like, pinching the inside of her, like, wrist and stuff like that, and she works up a good cry, and she goes, Serpent! What if you ate all these delicious rice balls instead of eating little old me? And then she just starts to wail and sob like she's very scared, and she's shaking. And the serpent puts his big head out, and he sees all these rice balls, and he smells them, and he's like, I mean, I guess I can eat these first. I'm definitely going to eat you after, but, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and eat these rice balls first. These look delicious. And so he starts to gobble them up. As soon as he's kind of out of the cave now, his head is sticking out, his neck is exposed, his head is down. And as soon as he's in that position, she releases the snake hunting dog. Chi, that's her name, releases the snake hunting dog. It jumps at the serpent and it bites hard into its neck. Now this dog does not care what size the snake is. It just likes snake. It like to bite snake. It like to fight snake. Snake dog.
Fight snake. Bite snake. Snake dog.
I will tread on you, snake dog. Oh, I'm gonna make a shirt that's just a picture of a chow that says, I will tread on you.
It's gonna be really confusing.
Yeah. It's a chow stepping on a snake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Chi then jumps up. The dog attacks first, and then she comes in with her sword. She makes several deep cuts into the snake's neck. Like, she scores the serpent, and it's so injured, and the wounds are so terrible that the monster dies. She has now killed a whole-ass snake as a 12-year-old little girl, which is very cool of her, and the dog helped.
That's very cool of them, and I would like to commission an entire movie series about it.
Yeah, honestly, and a good one. Don't let the people who did Mulan, Disney, don't let them have a hand at that. And I'm talking about live-action Mulan.
Mm-hmm. I just really like this idea of this badass little girl and her snake-eating dog, and they slice things up.
They just slice things.
They're just slicers. It's a classic,
like... You know who else is a slicer? Mama Malice.
Who?
Mama Malice.
Madam Alice?
Mama.
Mama Miles. Mama me.
Mama me. Okay. Lychee.
That's a slicey meatball.
No. Okay. Lychee, after she has now destroyed the monster, she goes into his cave and she finds and collects the 9 skulls of the sacrificed girls who went before her. And she has a quote in the actual, translation. She sighs and she says, "For your timidity, you were devoured." How pitiful.
Oof.
Yeah. She's like, this is a fucking war on women, says Lychee.
Good lord.
Then she puts the skulls in her bag and she makes her way back home with the dog. Presumably to give the skulls back to the families, not just to collect them. Though she is metal as fuck, so who knows?
I don't know if I would want, like, if my daughter was taken
To bury?
Oh, to bury.
Yeah, not to make it a cereal bowl.
Anyways, here's your child.
Here's her head. No,
Isn't this fun? You can see where her eyeballs used to be.
It's hilarious, right?
Right?
Oh, no one else thinks that? I need therapy? Okay.
Okay.
The next story is Lychee goes to therapy. So she makes her way back home and she gives the skulls back to the family, I presume, so that they can do proper burials and ceremonies. When the king of Yue learns about her bravery, he makes Lychee his queen, which is rough when you realize she's 12 or 13 years old. Hopefully he waits a couple of years, but I'm going to go ahead and say no, he doesn't. He appoints her father magistrate of Qianglo County, so he's now in a position of power. Her mother and her elder sisters are given riches, and her sisters are married off to noblemen of high status, which brings her parents great honor. So in the end, they weren't childless after all.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And from that time on, the district was free of monsters. And that is the story, the ballad of Lychee slaying the serpent.
That was really good. I really like the slaying part.
Here's what I like about it. And this is what I like about Mulan, too. It is a very young girl with action and with intent and who's a badass, who doesn't back down. Like, two stories that we do not have in the West, really, that I can think of. Can you think of, like, comparable ones? We have two general warriors.
Saint Margaret.
We have Catholic saints. Yes, you're right. We have Jonah. Well, yes.
Yeah, Saint Margaret is the one that I told the story about, the her slaying the dragon.
Even that story, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's something that's, like, taught in schools, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely
Not a lot of people, we don't have those for little girls where it's, like, just that's a whole ballad that you learn as a child, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying
China specifically, as much as we have this horrible reputation of treating girls like they are nothing, you know, like to the second-class citizens and stuff, we have all the stuff, even she says, like, listen, you might as well be childless, I can't do anything for you. They have all these badass stories that teach girls, like, listen, girls are tough as shit. You can do anything, which I really love, you know?
I really like that, too. Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's not the same as the West, where when we started changing all of our fairy tales, we made girls timid and quiet, and we kind of sucked out the marrow. I don't know. We took away all of their action.
We emptied the sack.
We emptied the sack of women in fairy tales. And yeah, we kind of just made them very bland in order to show girls, like, listen, this is what you should be. You should be quiet. And that's it.
Yeah. Especially like the 1800s and like the Brothers Grimm.
Yeah.
A lot of those stories.
They sanitized a lot of the stories to make girls passive characters. And in Chinese mythology, at least, and in Chinese like ballads and all the stories, they don't do that to their women, you know?
No. I was going to say, in Baba Yaga, the stories of, I can't
Vasilisa.
Yes, Vasilisa. She has a couple moments like that.
She does.
Where she takes care of herself and then the prince is kind of useless. But I feel like I've read a couple of Italian stories that have that, but
it's pretty few and far between.
Yes, yeah.
And I would also say things like the Ballad of Mulan and also Lychee, those stories I think are still pretty popular, you know? Yeah. Like, they're still when you're learning history and how to read, I'm pretty sure in China, those are the stories that you're reading and you're getting to know. So it's kind of nice, that's all I'm saying. I love that about China. And I also loved that when I was studying Chinese, I really loved reading those stories as well. That was one of my favorite things. It's very fun. Anyway, that's Lychee Slays the Serpent.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Okay.
That was a good one.
Yeah, we done did it.
We done did that.
Guys. Rate and review this podcast. Rate and review this podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it on. That helps us out a whole lot. We have the cutest reviews on Apple, because Spotify doesn't let you review, which is dumb, because reviews are very fun. And the newest one just said, more episodes. Thank you. That was kind of cute.
I have an Android phone, so I'm on Spotify, and it let me rate our podcast. And it was like, I got a pop-up when I opened Spotify one day. It was like, hey, you want to listen to some more Janey and Max on Sword of the Story? Like, well, don't mind if I do. But I just really liked this, like, non-human entity being like, wouldn't you like to listen to you and your friend?
Always. The answer is always. This is a selfish podcast in that we now have a database of us talking to each other, which what friend doesn't want that?
Seriously.
I did a live. I've been so fucking tired, and I was like, I'm just going to do a live, and you know what I'll do? I'll just play an episode of the podcast, which I do every once in a while. You know what? I usually tell stories on the podcast. Might as well just play it, or not pod. I always tell stories on the podcast.
I'm here. I know.
I usually on my lives will tell stories anyway, and so every once in a while when I'm too tired, I'm like, you know what? Let's just play an episode of the podcast. You get a story, and I get to kind of check how I'm doing with the editing.
You get to wheel in the big TV and put on Bill Nye.
Yeah, I'm Bill Nye. But somebody came on and they were like, are you listening to your own podcast on here? That's embarrassing. And somebody else said, it's not for her, it's for us. Shut up. Which, it was super cute. But also I was like, no, it's for me.
It's for everyone.
Like, what are you talking
You're
about?
welcome.
I listen to our podcast all the time. I am shameless. I also laugh at our jokes.
Every single time.
Yeah.
When Janie's like editing something and she's like going back over the past like 5 seconds over and over again, I still laugh. I still think it's so funny.
It's always, listen, we wouldn't fucking do it if we didn't like it. And it's weird that people are like, oh my god, are you listening to your own podcast? And I'm like, why the fuck do you think I made this? I feel the same way about shirts. Every once in a while somebody will be like, you made your own shirt? And I'm like, yeah, who do you think I'm making it for? I'm making shit that I want to wear. What are you talking about? Get out of here.
Leave.
You think I'm fucking doing this for other people? Nobody's paying me. If you want to.
Nobody's paying us.
Oh
Please,
my god. Good lord. Please, for God's sake, rate and review. Okay. With that, if you guys want to try your own podcast, if this sounds like it's fun, and you want to laugh at your own voices, try Buzzsprout. We use Buzzsprout as our streaming platform. It puts it onto all of the
major podcast platforms.
Yeah, Apple, Spotify, Google, Podcast, Pandora, if they'll ever email me back. We're still not, they fucking hate us. They're literally still like, oh yeah, sorry, we're having technical difficulties since last November. Anyway, Buzzsprout's amazing. They have, analytics. You can look at your audience. There's ways to monetize, which are extremely easy. That's, if you heard an ad during this episode, that was something that gets us money, which is nice.
So that we can afford to be alive and also do things.
Yeah, it's not actually a lot of money. I will say it's not a lot of money, but we do appreciate. We're just letting it collect.
Yes.
One day we're going to have that payout. I'm waiting till we get to $40.
I think we should get 2 really big sandwiches.
Oh my god!
And then we both eat our really big sandwiches.
On the podcast.
On the pod. Well, we shouldn't do that. That's going to attract the wrong audience.
Welcome to Sort of Mouth Sound.
Welcome to Sandwich the Story.
Stories and sandwiches would be hilarious. A stories and soup podcast where we slurp soup.
Soup of the story.
Sort of the soupy. We're too tired.
My god.
Okay, all that's gonna get cut. Everybody, we love you.
Sort of the soupy. You can't cut sort of the soupy.
No.
People need to know.
Anyway, please still listen to us after this.
Have a good week, guys. We
Yeah,
love you.
we love you. We hope you have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hands in your sack.
So the big news is Backstreet's back.
Also,
and we're all excited.
that ass.
Backstreet's ass. All right.
Oh, right.
Backstreet's ass is... It's all right.
I don't know. Have you seen NSYNC's taint?
Yes.
Oh, no!